Hey guys, how you going? Today I'm going to show you how I made a replica blaster from one of my favourite Star Wars movies of the Disney era. Back in 2016 I modelled and 3D printed this A180 blaster. It's pretty good, but I'd love to make something with a more realistic weight and feel. Now they've got an operational lathe, I'm going to try and make some parts on it. This will be my first project with my lathe, so hopefully I'll learn about its capabilities and any drawbacks that need improving. First I'm going to take some dimensions from my original 3D model, so I know what kind of pieces I need. I had this chunky piece of aluminium that I think is going to be perfect for it. It's going to be pretty heavy, but it's one solid piece, it's long enough. All I need to do is cut it down to size, and chuck it on the lathe and start turning it. Yeah, and that's where things start going wrong. I learnt a lot about my lathe trying to make this one piece alone. It's not coming out very well, and it's going to take me forever to get to the dimensions I need. So I decided to change tact and use two pieces instead. One for the collar, which is a solid piece I'll have to bore out, and then a piece of aluminium tube which is pretty much spot on the right diameter. This goes a lot smoother. To be honest, I'm pretty surprised with the finish that I can get on some of these parts. It looks worse on camera, it's actually pretty decent in person. That's fitting perfectly. Then I'm going to cut down my tube that I need for the main barrel. Start copying some features over onto it from the 3D print. So I've got something that looks a bit like a thing now. Next thing I want to do is be able to recess the end cap for the barrel. So I bored that out a little bit to be able to fit a washer. I make an inner barrel out of a slightly smaller piece of tube and design and 3D print some spaces to hold it centered in the outer barrel. Then the final machining operation is drilling the holes in the outer barrel. Give those a bit of a deburr and a sand to tidy them up, and then it's on to polishing. I then glue on the collar. Then I fit the inner barrel with the sleeves I printed. And put the end cap in place. So I'd already 3D printed the receiver of the blaster, given it a hit with some primer filler, and I'm just touching it up, smoothing out high spots, print lines. And then I'll hit that with some satin black paint. I also printed out the little detail underneath the barrel and painted the collar of the blaster black. I then apply rub and buff to the receiver parts that need to be silver and let that set. Rub and buff's a better solution in this scenario because spray paint would require me to mask off a whole load of the blaster, and using regular paint with a brush would leave brush strokes. The rub and buff's also great because it can be polished to a high sheen when it's dry. So I'll just do one last dry fit before I epoxy the barrel in place. Also a bit of a clean and one final polish of this part that's going to become inaccessible pretty soon. Looking pretty good. Last things to do, just give that rub and buff a bit of a buff. Bring out that sheen. And then a little bit of weathering with some more rub and buff, just on all the high spots. After one final polish, we have the finished A180. Thanks for joining me today, guys. If you like this, please give us a like and a sub if you want to see more of this kind of content in the future. Cheers. Bye.